How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Family. We are back with another preseason FPL video, and today we're continuing our Team Watch series, and up next is Leicester. The Foxes have been very consistent over the past few years, apart from last year where they were in a bit of a downturn. So we'll see what FPL assets may be more consistent this season, whether it be attacking or defensive assets, and we'll also take a look at what they're doing in the transfer market to help strengthen their squad for the upcoming season. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe channel if you're new, or if you haven't done so already. It greatly helps out the channel, as well as turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. Drop us a follow over on Twitter so you can keep up to date with any and all FPL news, from transfer news to preseason news and anything in between, as well as give us a follow over on Twitch so you can join us live for our preview deadline and any impromptu FPL streams. We'll be starting those streams back up 2 weeks today. If you're watching this video, I recorded it the day before, but 2 weeks today will be our first stream, either on the Monday or the Tuesday. Be around that time, but that'll be the game week 1 preview stream. That'll be fantastic to see, and I'll be looking at my potential new draft because I've been messing around with it every now and again. We'll see what I land on come that stream day. Now, without further ado, let's look at Leicester's attacking assets. So here are basically the main three of Leicester's attacking assets. We see Harvey Barnes coming in at the same price as he did last season, I believe. James Maddison has seen a slight price hike up to 8 million, and Jamie Vardy has seen a significant price drop down to 9.5 million. But if you look at Leicester's stats just above me for the last season, 73 big chances, 269 shots inside the box, 52.85 XG non-penalty. Now this tells me that basically when they do get a shot off inside the box, very likely it's going to be a very good chance. I've seen teams with a lot more shots inside the box but way less big chances. So that would mean to me that when they do get a shot in and around the penalty area, it is usually a quality chance. And with the likes of James Maddison and Harvey Barnes delivering the ball, that makes perfect sense to me. If you look at the last 4, they really turned it on as well. 16 big chances total with 31 shots inside the box, having just under 8 XG non-penalty. I think personally Leicester, had they had one less bad fixture in their opening 4, like if it was Brentford at home, Southampton at home in games weeks 1 and 3, and their fixture versus Chelsea away was like, I don't know, like one of the promotional teams away from home or something like that, I think a lot of, kind of FPL managers would be looking at these sorts of players like Vardy, like Maddison, like Barnes, something to potentially mix it up and break the template a little bit. I can easily see you going for the likes of a Vardy or a Maddison for the opening 3 fixtures and then wildcarding them away potentially. That is a potential alternative. I think James Maddison is one of the very good 8 million midfielders. I think some are going to be much less impactful, to be honest. I think that they could be rotation risks, or they could be, not as useful as we think they are. I still have my kind of doubts about Luis Diaz as an example. When Jota is fully fit, as he's currently injured at the moment, it might not make the Community Shield game. I'm also still not 100% on Kulusevski, with the likes of Richarlison coming in as well. That could be a bit of a kind of a dicey situation there. I think Saka's probably going to get subbed off more often now than he did before, so that could be a bit of an option. But Maddison, yes, he does get subbed off, and yes, he kind of gets, kind of treated, wrapped in cotton wool after games, treated as if he is, made of glass at times. But that's for a good reason. He has had his injury problems in the past. But the one thing that Leicester have that's different from last season, they have no Europe. So they can just, when it comes time to playing the European fixtures, when they're all congested, just before the World Cup, Leicester's going to be playing 1 game a week. And they should be perfectly fine to do so. And will be able to play full strength. So Maddison's probably the one out of these 3 that could be the main kicker. And Vardy would definitely benefit from playing 1 game a week as well. So we'll have to see what Leicester do attacking-wise. We've always known that they're going to be somewhere in and around the top 8 teams attacking-wise. It's just the defense that could be causing issues. But with the way that some of their defenders have been priced, we could be jumping on them sooner rather than later. Now, Leicester's defenders have been priced very kindly this season. If you look at these defenders, All 4.5 million and all have a potential to play at wingback or as an attacking fullback. James Justin has played himself as a wingback on both sides as well as in the back three as both a left-sided centre back and a right-sided centre back at times. Timothy Castagne can play both sides as well as a wingback or as a fullback, and Ricardo Pereira can deploy himself as a right midfielder, a right attacking midfielder, a right back, and a right wingback at times. So I think we could have a very, very, very solid base here if Leicester are to keep some clean sheets. We could see basically pick the best of the three. If all three of them are good, then just pick what one suits you best. Me personally, I think James Justin has the most flexibility because I think he can play the most positions. He can play in a back three as a center back and can also play as a wing back. Now, coming off a long-term injury, that could be something where they bed him in much slower, similar to how Maddison was kind of bedded in slowly after his hip problems. Brendan Rodgers seems to kind of do that with players, even though they are great players. Just when they do get an injury, he kind of slowly weeds them in. With Castagne and Ricardo, I'm not sure who's going to play. If he plays a back four, that's when the problem could arise where they have rotation. But if he's playing a back three where he plays, let's say, James Justin as the, right-sided center back, and he plays Castagne at one side wing back and Ricardo the other side of wing back, he plays like Tielemans in his last season, potentially at Leicester if he doesn't get sold. More on that in the transfer section, as well as like Ndidi as a holding midfielder with Maddison just in behind and Barnes and Vardy playing in a front two. That could be something that could be really, really successful for Leicester next season. But will Brendan Rodgers play it? We'll have to see more preseason games from them to kind of get a grip of what is going to be happening with them. Whether it be he's going to be much more flexible, he's going to be rotating a lot of players. Are these three basically just going to be all rotation players of one another? That is a very high possibility as well. We've also seen the likes of Albrighton and Dennis Pratt also put as wingbacks when they've both been available or not on loan in the case of Dennis Pratt. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. I think the fixtures are just kind enough. Like Jamie Vardy as an example for those first three fixtures would be quite good. I think there's definitely clean sheets available for Leicester, assuming they tighten that up. If it's Leicester of 2 seasons ago, then I think that James Justin could be absolutely gold at 4.5 million. There was that season where he basically just kept getting attacking returns and also getting clean sheet points, and I didn't have him, and he just skyrocketed to like 5.1 million. Yeah, these sorts of things are going to happen in FPL, and I expect it to happen more so this season because of the fact that there are so many 4.5 million defenders. So that's what I'm kind of thinking there. My pick would be James Justin, so that's what I'm going to go with. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Now that we've seen Leicester's defensive assets, let's talk about the transfer that they've been doing in this summer's transfer market. So it seems like Leicester are potentially looking for replacements for players that could be on the move. As an example, they're looking at Koku from FC Midtjylland, who will cost just under £20 million, and he would take up that central midfield role if it were to be vacated by Youri Tielemans. They also have De Ketelaere, I don't know how to pronounce that. He would come in as an attacking midfielder, most likely to bulk out the squad a little bit and to be a Maddison backup. And then another teenager who's been kind of circulating the rounds, as it will, Chelsea's Colwill. He's a very, very bright talent. He could be on the ins potentially as a lone player. Leicester typically do very good with players that are very young or kind of unknown, as it were. He seems to be a very highly talented player and is highly touted among the league. If we look at the outs, though, some key names on here. Babakary Soumaré, who's only come in recently. I think it was last year or the year before. Very good midfielder, but could be on his way back to Monaco, which would be a bit of a loss because then they'd be losing both Tielemans and Soumaré, only be left with like Ndidi basically in central midfield, and I think that would be a big hit to Leicester's overall balance in the team. They don't have anyone who can like ball play out from a double pivot like Tielemans and Soumaré can. Speaking of Youri Tielemans, he is linked to both Manchester United as well as Arsenal. Could be around £25 million thereabouts, potentially even more. He only will have 1 year left on his contract come the start of this season and is currently priced at 6.5 million in FPL. Probably not an FPL asset that we're looking at, but You never know. And then Dennis Pratt, he was on loan in Serie A last season and could be on his way to Fiorentina. He's currently not in FPL, but it is often deployed as, kind of this auxiliary attacker at times, and could be one of those players that is disposable by Brendan Rodgers. I'm just curious to see what type of direction they're going. They have plenty of backup at, the striker position behind Jamie Vardy. Goalkeeper situation's fine. The center backs, I think they're pretty much covered. They just need to stop getting injured. They also need to solidify the defense, but that's kind of a whole different story. They also have plenty of fullbacks basically available. I think it's just kind of the wide players and like central players for midfield and attack that could be what they're looking at. It seems like they're looking into it. They haven't made any signings as of yet of note that would be, hey, look, this person can come in and play straight into the first team. So that would probably be my bit of concern for Leicester. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Where do you think Leicester need to strengthen? Because I think they could be on their way back up into the top 6 if they have a good run at it with no European football, and could do exactly what Arsenal did last season, getting themselves very, very close to Champions League football without the distraction of European football for the season. But let me know what you think down in the comments below, and that's going to do it for Leicester's Team Watch. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Scout members area, the one place that you need to be tuned into for the upcoming FPL season. It has a wide variety of resources and tools that will help improve your FPL game today. It has a bunch of different members-only articles written by some of the best FPL managers across the globe, heat maps for all the players and positions, as well as player comparison tools, which will help you see side by side who is going to be more effective for your FPL team, fully customizable stats tables powered by Opta stats, and much, much more. Use the link down in the description below so that you can get access to the Fantasy Football Scout members area today. It'll help improve your FPL game. This video has been sponsored by Manscaped, the best in male below the waist grooming. Make sure to check out manscaped.com so you can see the latest and greatest updates to their lawnmower, as well as their performance package, and much, much more for all their gadgets and gizmos to help keep your family jewels looking as shiny as ever. Make sure to use the code FLAME20 so that you can get 20% off your next Manscaped order, as well as free worldwide shipping. Go check out manscaped.com today. And that is going to do it for our Team Watch Leicester Edition episode. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. Drop us a follow over on Twitter so you can keep up to date with any and all FPL news, and drop us a follow over on Twitch so you can join us live for our preview and deadline streams. Will be coming in around 2 weeks time, so it's right around the corner, so make sure to stay tuned for those. Also check out our league code down in the description below. We have that over on our Twitter bio as well, just the actual code itself, but we have a direct link down in the description. And lastly, check out the link in the description for Fantasy Football Scout. All the stats that you saw in today's video are provided by their members area. It'll help elevate your FPL game. Thank you all for watching, and until the next one, take care.